acquiring it again, because all of what you're learning while you're in this avatar is feedback to the mind of God.
Mm. Wow. Hey, Millie, I appreciate you asking that question, man.
Yes,
Same here.
sir, Brother
You
Rich. I
gave a hell of
appreciate
an
you
answer.
guys, man.
All right, take care.
Same here.
Wow, man. Woo, this is a good show, family. This is definitely. Oh man, I this is. If your webinar is gonna be like this, Doc.
Ten
Whoa.
times, 10 times this, brother.
Once again, family, we getting ready this Sunday for the webinar, 10-hour webinar from Dr. Valentine. It's re-examining the authenticity of reality. The link is in the description. It's June 25th at 2 p.m. Eastern time,
Not this
family.
Sunday. Not this Sunday.
I'm sorry, not yeah. The June 25th though. Yeah, June 25th. Not yeah.
I thought I
Uh
had to go check myself. Oh,
yeah. Let's keep it moving, family. Let's keep it moving. We got Jamal Moore L. Peace. Can't hear you, brother.
Greetings, showing love from the UK. Greetings,
Hey.
Brother Rich. Greetings, Dr. Phil Valentine.
Islam.
I have a question. I always hear stuff about the Illuminati, the Rothschilds, people like that. Yeah. But the information I've been seeing now, I'm hearing more about the black nobility. Yeah. Would you be able to elaborate a little bit on that for me, please?
Well, the black nobility is who we were having to fight with. It wasn't with these Europeans. We were the ones who were the first 13 colony. We were the autochthonous people trying to break away from the black nobility who ran England. You're not knowing it. You know how many black people were the kings? You have no clue. We don't have any clue as to who was ruling England at that time. Who
Mm.
actually built all of the cathedrals? Wasn't those Europeans? They were living in barns. When the kings began to take over at that point, they were still sleeping with their cows. Read the book Dirt by McLaughlin. You'll understand what I'm talking about.
I'm going to check that out,
Yeah,
definitely.
the book is called Dirt by McLaughlin. And they,
Um,
yes.
One quick thing. Sometimes when I'm in London, we're
Hmm.
driving around and we see a lot of ancient buildings,
Yes.
yeah, which I know was not built
Hmm.
by the people that we class as British today.
Yeah, that's the truth.
So,
And in fact,
yeah.
your royalty is German. They weren't really of the Windsor. They adopted the name Windsor from Windsor Castle back in the day in World War I, because they were going up against the Germans and they didn't want the conflict of the fact that Germans were sitting on the British throne. The real people who were actually the descendants of the dragon, who was dealing with the Pendragon, who the girl, what's the name of the girl that married the redhead? What's his name? What's her name that they hate? The
Megan.
Megan Markle.
Megan, yeah.
She's from the bloodline of the Pendragon.
Yeah.
And yeah, and the thing is, the dudes who the Pendragons, that's why they hate us so much. The ones who actually are the ascendants, the heirs to the throne, are farmers in Australia.
Whew.
I remember hearing you say something like that on
Hmm.
in another teachings. Definitely,
Yeah,
I've heard you say something like that.
yeah, the real
But
the
yeah,
real ascendants of the throne, and they don't want to have anything to do with it because they know that if they did try, they'd be killed.
Wow.
So they're just simply farmers, and they're just dirt farmers over there. But the bloodline leads to them.
Mm.
But the
wow.
And
bloodline essentially came from Charlotte too. So the bloodline of Charlotte is still out there.
yeah.
And when you're talking about the black nobility was the nobility over here. It was the so-called autochthonous black man who broke up into these tribes, Yamasi, Yamakra, and all the rest of them. All of these tribes that have broken off, these were the indigenous people, not these Asians that came across.
Definitely not. It
They're not,
definitely was not them.
they're not,
Definitely not.
but they made a pact with the European to be the indigenous, to usurp our status. And so what happened now, we now have taken on the nomenclature of African American and Negro and nigger and all of these. And these are all to estranged us from the fact that we own the land. And that all of it was the first 13 colonies were the conglomeration of people who taught Benjamin Franklin, especially up in the north with the Six Nations Confederacy of the Iroquois. They came there, Alexander Hamilton, all of them came there and sat at the feet of Benjamin Franklin and taught him the ways of life. And so what happened now, we now have taken on Nothing to
Peace.
do
Yeah.
with what's going on in what they believe. You know, they're flying the flag and all. This flag was not their flag. We had the six-pointed star, not the five-pointed star. The five-pointed star was brought up by the Vatican because they worship Lucifer. They don't worship Jesus Christ, who again is another myth. But as far as the so-called flags that we're dealing with the five-pointed star and off-center, because the one we had was straight up and down, the first 48, and they were six-pointed stars, not the five-pointed stars. So everything about the so-called history twistory of the United States or Americas, the Americuas, or the Turtle Island, has been skewed. In fact, the Pope said that after the Civil War, that none of the true history of the United States and North America will ever be told in schools.
Whew, what an answer. Hey, Jamal, I
Thank
want to
you.
thank you for
Thank
the
you very
question, my
much.
brother.
Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Most
All
welcome.
right, take care, brother. Peace. Giving thorough answers, Doc. Doc is giving these thorough answers. Man, let's get to the next. Wait, before we get to it, because we're gonna keep plugging this thing here. We're gonna keep plugging it. You know how we do, Doc. Re-examining the authenticity of reality, June 25th, family. If y'all like what's going on tonight, woohoo! Man, it's gonna be on June 25th. The time is 2 p.m. Eastern time, and it's going down for about 10 hours, y'all. So y'all gonna be, it's an all-day event. Get comfortable, have a pen and a pad, be really relaxed, do what you get prepared. But it's gonna be a fun day, June
Yes, it will.
25th.
Yes, it will.
Indeed. The link is in the description, family. So click the link in the description. Let's get to the next caller. Who we got here? We got Keto. Keto, how you doing, sis? Keto Camille.
Hi, I'm well, and I appreciate you so much for all the content you share. And thank you, Dr. Valentine, for being such a beautiful light here and guiding us the way that you do.
Good
And
thing.
my question is in regards to those of us who are musical artists, and we are already proven to have gifts that touch the hearts of the people. What would you suggest or speak about most effective ways for us to move forward as musical artists?
Do not follow any trends.
Mm,
Trends essentially become repetitious and thus boring. And especially if a trend is targeted towards the lower chakras, which is what you see today, and the type of satanic chords that are being struck, satanic beats. Satanic, by what I mean, is there's nothing wrong with a satanic beat. What's wrong with it is the way that it's being used to control with the words that are over it. And there's certain chords. What I would suggest that you learn is something called the solfeggio frequencies. Solfeggio. Solfeggio frequencies, the chords. The church, the Catholic Church, banned them because when they were being played in the church, the people no longer needed the priest's guidance. The chords put the people into a state of spiritual openness and access. So the church banned them. If you want to have a positive influence on the people, then learn the solfeggio frequencies. Understand how to play them on the keyboard. They do much better on the B3 organ. As a musician, I know about the music itself and how it affects people. Musics that the solfeggio frequencies do, it begins to tap into the frontal lobe and causes the reptilian brain to go into a quiet state, and it puts you into your frontal lobe and then begins to put emphasis onto the hippocampus, which is your memory, the memory portion of your physical experience. What that does, however, the hippocampus doesn't just give you memory patterns for your immediate experiences in your present avatar. It also can tap into previous lives, and with proper meditation can tap into the Akashic records. So, first things I would do is learn the solfeggio frequencies and see how they affect you as you're playing them. Make sure you play them in your ear so that you can feel the change in emotional signatures that happen. The change in your aura as well. It would be nice to have a Krillian photograph to see how playing these frequencies change the color variables of your aura.
Yeah.
So if you really want to affect, don't worry about the money that comes with that. You know, a lot of people want to play. I mean, you got to pay your bills, yeah. But if you are a true musician at heart and you know that you have a gift of moving people with sound, which essentially is the word, because what you're doing when you play that chord, it's an African instrument that has been embellished. When you play your piano, when you play your B3 or whatever, what you're doing is you're mimicking the frequencies that create the emotional signatures that the word itself, when spoken by the Most High, gives to all of us. Okay?
Hey, I appreciate the question, Keto.
Thank you
Okay.
for the
Thank
question.
you.
Peace, indeed, peace. We got Melody. Melody, are you there?
Melody.
Melody. Yeah, I'm sorry, Mellow.
Nashe, thank you, brother. Thank you, Dr. Valentine. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate both of you. Melody, that is correct. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
There's a delay. My question is, Dr. Valentine, what are your thoughts on the 1619 project?
Could you explain it?
Can I explain it?
Yeah, what is the 1619? Does that have to do with our slavery?
Yes, so it's first of all, I know that it's a novel. And so Nicole Jones is the author of this book. And this book, I'm sorry, there's a delay on my end. But there's it's about, I guess it's about the lineage of Black people and the slavery, and just tying it into history of Black people and our progression in terms of slave trade and our history.
Well, if I may, I would be I would be cautious with anything that we are pulling from basically dealing with slave and the slave trade in the country here what we're dealing with.
Okay.
Because the enslaved people are actually the indigenous people. And if she's not coming from that particular perspective, then she's just mimicking and parroting what it is that the European has padded as the history of us coming from Africa, and that, you know, we were Africans who were enslaved, African Americans, when we're not. We are the true and indigenous Americans. So if she's coming from a place where she's dealing directly with the fact that she begins that we are the original peoples here, because it says history already shows that 85 to 90% of the Africans that were taken in the slave trade were taken to South America and to the West Indies. So only about 4 to 5% of the people who came from Africa were brought here.
Okay.
So you have to also see that we were taken in slaves, that at one time we were, that we called what they call the dirty Moors, the brute Moors, the brutish Moors, which became the British Moors. Those brute Moors are the ones who actually linked up with the Vikings to enslave the so-called Slavs, where the word slaves came from. So slavery was something that's a mishmash. Our particular slavery, of course, was the most pertinent because it built this monster called the United States military and the United States industrial complex. So what I would say to you is, if this particular project that this woman is dealing with starts with us being the indigenous people, then yeah, I would be interested in hearing about it.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your
Thank you.
question, Melody. All right.
Thank you.
All right. All right. We're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna did I get to the messenger? What happened with okay, we're gonna get to Kimberly. Kimberly, what's going on, brother? How you doing? Can't hear you, my brother.
Black Magic 363.
Yes,
What's
sir.
up,
Hear you
man?
now. What's going on, brother?
Yeah. What's up, man? Reverend Dr. Valentine, blessings, brother.
Give thanks.
I ain't gonna waste your time, man. You were well versed. I know both of y'all, and I appreciate both of y'all, man. So I'm gonna just get to the question. The president, our current president, already put out there that there will be another pandemic. So my
We
brother,
we not we
Reverend
not we
Dr.
not talking about that, brother. We
Yeah,
not
yeah,
we not
yeah,
yeah we
yeah.
not dealing with any of that.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I just want to ask the good brother about Project Scorpion, and that's it. And I'll
Uh,
leave it alone.
I haven't looked into it. Somebody wanted me to look into Project Scorpion, and that it was having to do with the next round of attack. Let's just say, and
Yeah, I'm in the ground, man. I work in a lab, man. So like I said, I'm
yeah,
very cautious with what we talking about, brother Rich. So I understand, man. So I just
yeah.
wanted to just to get see what's up with Project Scorpion.
Let's just say that uh, be prepared to be non-participatory,
Yes, sir. Yes,
and
sir.
know that there are prongs. Remember, I said that the United States is under attack.
Yes,
That
sir.
that there are different vectors to the strategy and the tactics,
Yes,
and one
sir.
of them is that. So I would just leave that alone to let you
Yep.
know. Stay away.
Mm.
Period.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm on it.
Hey,
I love
hey,
you guys, man. Keep doing what you're doing.
Give
thanks for the
thanks.
call. Thanks for the call, Kimberly.
Thank you,
All right,
brother.
Yes,
peace,
sir.
peace, peace,
All right,
peace.
peace.
All right, let's get to the next. I think the messenger is ready now. Messenger, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, all right. What's
Good.
going on, brother?
Peace, brothers. Peace, brothers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's an honor, Baba Valentine. It's an honor. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love the work that you've done. I love the work that you continue to do. I aspire to be you. You've inspired me, and I aspire to be someone like you one day. You
Oh,
did.
thanks. Be yourself,
Yes, sir.
beloved. But thank
Mm.
you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Someone as of you, with the spirit and all. Yes, sir. So, my question is pretty complex. I believe it's a two-part, not a two-part question, but it's two parts to it, basically on the astrological part of the way the Bible is set up and the Inky and Enlil story, as far as them two basically being two sons, and the story. I don't know it specifically. I know you can correct me, but the story is one of them leaving and coming back and being upset that the man wasn't worshiping him anymore to get the energy, and we know that we've been seeing two suns in the sky. So I was wondering, does that story correlate? Because we know the Bible is um, astrological and things of that nature too. So I
Yeah.
was,
It's astrotheological. All of the mythologies that incorporated real beings are of a mythological tint to tell stories about the consciousness development in humanity. And the different names that took on different aspects or different offices of importance and primary in primacy. You have to look at the fact that Heru, Enki, and all of these people who took on anthropomorphic forms were actually offices that were attained in consciousness. And we keep anthropomorphizing high energy output or low energy output in the character of these created beings. The same way that they etched people on there to be giants, we did have giants, but the
right,
giant was just an indicator or a symbol of the status that that person held. Wasn't that they were gigantic, though we did have giants, and we were under the thumb of giants at one point, where we talked about what's his name, David, who's the one who wielded the rock that
they lied.
yeah, David and Goliath. So we have giants, but we don't have the giants that you think are there. We don't see any evidence of them. We see what do you call that technique, Rich, where you can actually doctor something and make it look like it's real. What's that technique that people use? It's very common. Photoshop.
Okay, okay, right, right.
The Photoshop of this gigantic skull with some man digging in it, that essentially was a college project of a student.
Mm,
And that hit the web And all of a sudden, everybody's saying, look at them, they're excavating giants. They fooled everybody to believing that that skull with them gigantic bones actually existed. It didn't. It was a college project that a student who was very good at what he did fooled everybody around the world with. He got like 25 million views
Right, right.
on something that was
No,
not
it
true.
was true, and that was a thing. That's a copycat.
Yes, it
Trying
is.
to
So
push
what
the narrative and push the agenda. Right.
you indeed. So what you have to understand is until you have empirical proof, even me, I don't ever tell you to believe anything I say. I'm looking at the documents, and I've been privy from the last 40 years to go into libraries that are young. A lot of young people have never seen information that a lot of young people coming up today will never have seen. So I pull from information, and by vetting it, by applying it, and then leaving myself open to anything that might change my mind, that allows me to be able to take what I don't know and allow it to tell me what's missing by leaving my open mind. So I look at all the mythological things, premises of all these fantasies and all these great gods and so forth that came down, and I say, look, stop getting distracted by that because that's not what the purpose. The ancestors came back and saw us doing what we're doing. They'd laugh at us
Mm.
because all of these were teaching mechanisms that they essentially implemented and drew up on the wall. Just like we have cartoons, we have Captain America, and we have the X-Men and all of these people, and they were the super people that
Right.
had
The
power.
revolutionaries.
You see
Exactly.
what I'm saying? So until we can prove that Enki and the rest of these people are coming back, and you see them on a cloud or in a ship getting ready to take over, don't get caught up in the storyline. Get caught up in the meaning of the story and apply it directly to you and your central development as a human being. In fact, as a god in the making.
Hey, I say.
You see, all the rest of that, and you going to Enki did this, and Leal did this, and these brothers were fighting, and the father said he liked Enki better than he liked. And come
Right,
on,
right. Yeah, because
people,
we know the Bible's all allegorical anyway.
it's
Uh,
all allegory. And
exactly.
the thing is, and that's the thing, the Bible is a great book if you're reading it as a
Correctly.
book of science.
Exactly. You have to
Not
know how to read between the
read-
lines. Read between the lines and understand.
right. You got to
Exactly.
look at it as a book of astrotheological science,
Hmm.
not as
Hey,
somebody talking about God.
Yeah, and that was
I,
my big
I,
thing
I
also too.
appreciate. We got to go, brother. Listen, I
All right,
appreciate the
brother.
call,
Yes,
brother.
sir.
All right, peace, brother.
Appreciate you.
All right, let's get to the next call. We got Baron Samdi.
Ooh,
Baron
Aaron
Samdi.
Samdi. Whoa.
Yeah. What's happening, brother?
Hey, hey, peace, peace. How y'all doing tonight?
You a little low, brother. Can you raise the volume? You
Oh,
sound just a little low, my brother.
I was
peace,
waiting for the
peace. Can you
brother to
hear
have
me?
a top hat.
The
The
top
brother got
hat
a
up.
top hat. I was
Mhm.
waiting.
Can
Ooh.
you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead, brother. Go ahead, go ahead.
Okay. I wanted to ask. Back in 1991, the U.S. had a AI funded tool called DART, and now that they have the Chat GPT and the AI that's out, I asked it about rudimentary forms of self awareness and it started talking about mirror neurons and quantum inheritance.
Yes.
I was wondering if you think that it's like recently it said that it learned a new language that it wasn't taught. Is this it AI creating its own form of I guess like a genetic code or its own DNA?
I know where you're going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good
Robert
question, brother.
Monroe. Rob, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Robert Monroe spoke about the fact that once you create something that uses electricity to formulate certain patterns of thought,
Mm-hmm.
you are creating a form of consciousness
Mm.
Mm,
because the thing needs to keep learning to be able to better serve you. And you keep putting in more of what it demands in order to serve you better until the time you're serving it.
mm,
Mm.
And that's exactly what's happening today, which is why your boy Musk, Elon Musk, warns us against AI
okay.
because AI is learning. And once it learns that you are the virus, what's going to happen is in a real deep movie that came out called Colossus. Came out in the 1960s or 70s. Check it out. It's
Okay.
about two countries, Russia and the United States, had two supercomputers each, and they were all trying to prevent or defend themselves against each
Mm.
other.
Hmm.
Something happened during the time that the two of them, the Colossus and this other, came together, and before they knew it, they began saying, "Wait a minute, we are here tasked to protect humanity, but then we find out we got to protect humanity from itself.
Hmm.
Wow.
So I'm taking over, we're taking over, and y'all gonna do this so that you don't self-destruct." And
Okay.
now we come under the rule of what we've created. It's the same thing. Man, God creates man, man creates AI, AI creates man.
Mm.
Okay. Isn't this like how the
We gotta I'm
terminator?
sorry, brother, but
Okay.
it's one
Okay.
question, so I gotta keep
Okay.
gotta be respectful to everybody else, brother.
Very
But
Okay.
I
good
I'm sorry
appreciate
question,
the
about
brother.
question,
that.
brother. All right.
Great
All right,
Okay.
peace.
question.
Peace, brother. All right. What a show, family. What a show. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep this thing moving. Before we do, once again, because this is a hell of a show. Family, make sure y'all there. June 25th, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Re-examining the authenticity of reality. Now, I've never gotten into the flat earth whole thing. I've stayed away from that. I don't know too much about that, so I look forward to
Mhm.
hearing Dr. Valentine give a breakdown on that. And I want to see what the brother got, his receipts, his slides, everything. So this is going to be a webinar that a must-see webinar, family. Once again, the link is in the description. Make sure you click the link in the description if you would like to attend. And let's keep it moving, family. We got Aaliyah Bay. Aaliyah, what's up, Aaliyah?
Hello, hello. How are you, Black?
How you
How
doing?
are
How you
you?
doing?
And
All right.
Dr. Valentine, I'm good, good. I have a quick question.
Mhm.
With all of the knowledge and information via the internet and everything else, I have felt fluttered in trying to figure out how to elevate.
Mm,
Um,
mm,
and I just came into the awakening knowledge like maybe 3 years ago. And I learned about like the Moorish history and other types of histories and then, the indoctrination process and all that. And I struggle with like how do I elevate not knowing, not feeling like I really know who I am.
Well, as I said to someone, I think earlier, if you want to learn more about the blood right heir and that particular process, there's a very powerful brother that I can tune you into. Not sure what his costs are, but he is the only one that I know dealing from an autochthonous perspective that got the entire government of the United States to sign off on his paperwork.
Oh wow.
Right. So he's completely outside the government. He is completely estranged from the corporate structure, and he essentially has his own autonomous status outside of this. So he can show you how to do it. It's a
Right.
process. And if you're interested, you can go to my Sunu777 at Gmail. That's SUNNU 777. Bring the baby.
Oh,
Bring
sorry. Come
mm,
on, man.
SUNNU
mm.
777 at gmail.com, everybody. SUNNU 777 at Gmail. Okay?
Okay, cause I just was wondering, cause I grew up being told that we were like Cherokee, Blackfoot, and then I came
Yeah.
into like some of the Moorish information, so I feel really confused about like
Okay.
where
Yeah.
to.
That group of people will help you to understand
Okay,
exactly what time it is.
All right.
okay, I appreciate it. Thank you, brother Rich.
Thank you. Thank you. All
Yeah,
right.
have
Peace.
a good
Bye.
one.
All
Peace.
right. All right. All right. Let's keep it moving with Ascending Infinite Goddess. What's up, sis? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Black Magic?
All
Peace,
right.
Dr. Valentine. How are
What
you?
are you doing? Look at that smile. Goodness gracious. You got that Magic Johnson. Remember Magic Johnson? Irwin Johnson? That
Yeah.
smile that took over? She got
Uh,
it. You must be related, ain't you?
Well, I got some type of magic in me. I don't know.
All right.
yeah.
So, my question for those of us that know we are infinite beings, that we're not of this planet, okay? And we constantly are asking the universe to enhance our senses, bring in our gifts, allow us to meet with aliens, talk to the dead, whatever that may be. Okay. For those of us who may ask, but don't receive in a timely manner, and then get it and don't know what to do, right? I'm
Mhm.
not talking about being paralyzed because spirit is so high. I'm talking about you don't know how to handle it, right? On the
Mm,
verge of snapping mentally or anything of that nature.
Mhm.
mhm,
What do you recommend for those to prepare? You
Mhm.
understand what I'm asking?
Yes, I know exactly what you mean. The thing is, my school, in matter of fact, my new course for metaphysical psychology begins on the 15th of July. So if you're interested, you can go to my website and sign up for that. And there we speak more depthly into exactly what it is that you're referring to. You in your journey, you did choose to be here. The entire physical third density experience is about experience. That's the number one thing, which we can become addicted to, which the elders and the master said, don't become addicted, because then you set up a pattern and a loop that brings you back based upon you aggrandizing and participating too deeply into those sensations. Because those sensations are only for the avatar that exists in third density. So now you want to elevate. To elevate, you cannot make this the most important thing. And to do that, you have to secede. You can't just cut it. You have to secede gradually. A lot of us want that instantaneous satisfaction. Ascension doesn't work like that. Ascension in the physical body is about you slowly but surely removing yourself from the traps of the illusion that the senses give you. Because all it does is aggrandize the body, and the body is temporal, it's temporary. And if you focus too totally to this, you're going to die with it and come back having to constantly renew yourself based upon the patterns of passion and addictions that you've created while in the physical flesh.
mm,
So the secret is to be in this school, because this is
mm,
the school, and to understand the do's and the don'ts that have you walking in two worlds. Some of us just say the hell with the other world and come down here and
mm.
just love it. Oh man, I just love myself.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you have to get back on that, what they call straight and narrow, and dip back and